So Howie Lake graduated from Parkview Baptist High School. Howie Lake Jr. was a Protestant just like the Klan was. So Howie Lake Jr. is a piece of shit. He's absolute fucking garbage. He held a man down while another man murdered him.
You fucking God! Hey bro, you fucking move, I swear to God! Hey boss!
So, and this isn't the first time Howie Lake has been part of a shooting. In 2014, Howie Lake shot a man when he was with 5 other cops. Howie Lake shot 28-year-old Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight, okay, that's the guy's name. I don't know anything about that situation. He got a paid vacation for that shooting just like he's getting a paid vacation right now. You murder a man with a badge and a uniform, you get a fucking vacation. So for that 2014 shooting of Kevin Knight, Howie Lake was forgiven by the judges, by the prosecutors, by the other police officers. The whole fucking system forgave him. Perhaps he was justified, but Howie Lake isn't justified now. Watch how the system protects their own. Fuck the thin blue line. Fuck the thin blue line. The thin blue line, no matter what crime the cops commit, you're going to fucking protect your own. Because it's a gang, well, if it's a gang, that's corruption. If you're only protecting your friends and your family, then you're not a public servant. Take that fucking badge off. You're supposed to protect the public. You know, all the people that want to protect. So, I mean, the thin blue line. Do you understand the thin blue line? No matter what crime the cops commit, you're going to protect yourselves. So, like Tyler Brockman in Boone County, the fucking cops protected him, the fucking judges protected him, the fucking prosecutors protected him, the grand jury members protected this murderer. And if you can't say murder is wrong, is it okay if he rapes? Is it okay if he robs? Is it okay if he fucking, goes around beating people up? Of course it's okay. There is nothing that a cop can ever fucking do that would make Bill O'Reilly say, well, that's wrong. He won't ever fucking do that. He's a rich man. They're going to protect his ass. He drives a nice fucking car. He don't ever have to worry about cops fucking with him. He's got a lawyer. He'll take him to fucking court. So the cops protect the wealthy. The cops protect the politicians. They protect their friends. They protect their family. They don't give a fuck about anybody else. And that's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. I have to look over my shoulder for people that want to rob me, and I gotta look over my shoulder for fucking cops. I gotta look over my shoulder for criminal cops and criminal fucking gangs. These are just two different kinds of gangs, that's all it is, and it's bullshit. It's fucking bullshit, man. I want to live in this world. I want to have peace and safety and security. How come I'm not entitled to that? Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but I'm not entitled to safety, so what kind of life can you have without being safe? If you can't say that murder is wrong, murder is the worst thing you could do to somebody else. You're taking away everything that person is and ever will be when you murder somebody. Who Alton Sterling is, that's it. That's his fucking life right there. And for what? Selling CDs? Because he was trying to make some money so he can have some bread? And you assholes, y'all don't give a shit. You don't care if people are eating. You sit there and talk bad about food stamps. You don't care about one another. You don't give a shit about anybody. But if we can't even say murder, the very worst fucking thing that one person could do to another is wrong, we have no basis for a civilization. We have none. Howie Lake Jr. also injured a combative black juvenile, so he's beating up black kids during a struggle. April 19th, 2015, according to documents, Howie Lake Jr. busted the juvenile's chin open, busted it open. For what? Who gives a shit? For being combative. Well, does that mean he was fighting? Does that mean he assaulted and punched the cop? Because that's what the cop just did to him. No, combative, when they use that word, that means he was being argumentative. No, you're fucking hit. Fuck you for arguing with me. So anytime you argue with a psychopathic, oppressor, fascist piece of shit, you deserve to get hit? Fuck you. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of my fucking business. I don't know. I don't want you talking to me. Don't come up to me. Don't fucking talk to me. Don't pretend like you're my friend. You're just trying to fucking, you're goddamn psychopathic fucking spies. You're bad fucking people. You don't give a shit about Chelsea Manning. Chelsea Manning is going to be in prison for 35 years because she saw a crime and she said something about it. If you see something, say something. Well, she crossed the thin blue line. But the murderers, the people who killed that innocent man, the people who killed those innocent reporters, and then the people that seriously injured those children, they're okay. They still get to keep their job. The system protects them. Middle white America don't give a fuck. They don't care. In fact, they might even justify it. Well, it's a war, so we're allowed to kill anybody and everybody. But I thought we were protecting the Iraqi people and their freedom and their democracy and all this other horse shit. No, we weren't. It's an occupation. It's an empire. It was for oil. It's not for them whatsoever because we're attacking their children. If we're attacking their children, how's that for them? We think children are the insurgents? We're not protecting the Iraqi people. 1.5 million Iraqi people have been killed. It was a fucking lie. Even the Republican is saying that. It was a fucking lie. Why are we there? For empire. That's why we were there. And Hillary Clinton is all about Kissinger. She loved that war. She's never come across a war she didn't like. So, Howie Lake Jr., he's been with the Baton Rouge Police Department for 3 years now. I love that. Oh, he's a veteran. He's a veteran. Oh, 3 years. That's, yeah, a fucking veteran for 3 years. He's been oppressing and abusing his authority with the badge and gun for 3 years now. Fuck Howie Lake Jr. Hiller C. Moore III, the East Baton Rouge District Attorney. The prosecutor said that both Howie Lake and Blaine Michael Salamone believed they were completely justified in using deadly force. So there's the prosecutor. That's the guy that's going to put up the charges against these guys. That's the guy that's going to convict him. I knew one fucking prosecutor in Gallatin County that said he protects the police. That's his job, to protect the police. So the tail wags the dog. It doesn't matter if you believe in goodness or not. It doesn't matter if you have a conscience. If they commit a crime, you're going to cover their ass up, right, system? Hiller C. Moore III. That's the East Baton Rouge District Attorney. And it doesn't matter if the cops, Howie Lake and Blaine Michael Salamone, think that they're justified. Of course they'll say that. They'll have lawyers that say that. They're going to fucking lie through their fucking teeth. Oh, I was so scared. I had no idea what was going to happen. I was so scared. Yeah, they're scared. But, you know, I'm fucking scared around these psychos. But who gives a shit about that, right? Who cares? But if I was to do something stupid, you'd fuck my life up in a fucking heartbeat. Because that's who you fucking people are. Bradley Manning in fucking prison for 35 fucking years. You're good fucking people? You're not good fucking people. You're not good people. You don't care about others. You're Christians? Fuck your Christianity. Your religion makes you bad people. Your fucking brainwashed religion. You think you're a good fucking person. You don't. I think about poverty all the fuck. I think about war. I think about all these injustices all the time. And I'm not going to be happy until these things are fixed. You don't care. You're comfortable. You're fine. Ignore all this shit, right? So the question isn't whether the cops think that they're justified. The question is whether Hiller C. Moore III, the prosecutor, thinks that they're justified. In fact, it doesn't even matter what he thinks. It matters if the evidence points that they were justified. So when, when or if Hiller C. Moore III realizes that they were or were not justified, what is Hiller C. Moore III going to do about it when he says, okay, they were not justified, I should charge them with a crime? There's a dead body, okay, charge them with the crime. The judicial system is such a good process, well, let's put them through the judicial system. Charge them with a crime, and then put them in front of a judge and a jury, and then see how the judicial system handles them. Yeah, when they're before the fucking judge and before the jury, you'll see how things change then. So, they should be charged, they should be arrested, they should be thrown in jail, they should be shackled, they should be take away their freedom, take away their rights. But what's going to happen is this. They're not going to have any of their freedom. They're going to continue to get paid by the taxpayers. Hiller C. Moore III, he is going to bury this case by manhandling the grand jury into the verdict that he wants them to decide. That's what happened with Tyler Brockman and Samantha Ramsey in Boone County. They waited till after the election. They got the grand jury to not indict. And then they went about with their lives. They didn't care. They didn't give a shit. That wasn't their daughter that got murdered. So that's, if history is any indication of how these things go, that's what's going to happen. Hiller C. Moore will try to bury this in the grand jury, and the grand jury will fail to indict them, which is super fucked up because all a grand jury does is to see if there's probable cause if a crime has occurred. That is the legal burden of proof. That's the threshold, is probable cause. So to give you a comparison, because that's a very low threshold, probable cause, that means there was probably a cause of crime, right? There's probable cause that a crime might have been committed. Probable. Not probably. Probably is like, maybe there's a crime, but probable means it's a higher threshold than probably. So probable cause. Well, there's a fucking dead body. There's a dead body. Maybe a crime fucking happened. Maybe there's probable cause that a crime happened there. No, it's not maybe. Of course it's fucking probable cause. It's a dead fucking body. I've heard cops just make up shit. I smell alcohol in your breath. Now I get to search it because I got probable cause. Because I made a lie up and I said there's alcohol in your breath. Now I got probable cause to search your car. To give them the business. To fucking frisk them. To pull them out of their car. To search their entire fucking vehicles. To harass them, essentially. Even if they committed no crime whatsoever. So the point of the grand jury was to make sure that no frivolous lawsuits ever came about. So the grand jury, because it's a felony, you can really take a lot of people, you know, if you're convicted of a felony, you can't have a right to vote, you're going to be in jail forever, you can't have guns, you can't have, all your rights are taken away, you're a nobody. Everything that you've ever, and even if you do your time, you're still treated like a felon. You can't get, you know, it's, you're branded for life. So the point of the grand jury is to make sure frivolous felony accusations don't go through. You can't just go around pointing at people and say, you're a felon, you're a felon, you're a felon. So it goes to the grand jury first. So the grand jury is actually there to protect us from giving, you know, out frivolous accusations of felony cases. That's the point, to protect us, we the people, from overly ambitious and unusually cruel cops from accusing us of felonies and making us pay for something we didn't do. So, the legal burden of proof is probable cause. That's the legal burden of proof. That's all the grand jury needs in order to make an indictment. It's just the trial before the trial. So, once the grand jury says that there is probable cause and they issue an indictment, then the trial actually commences afterwards. Then you actually have a criminal case. So, the grand jury really isn't much of anything except for maybe there might have been a felony here. Let's see what the jury says. So an indictment isn't a guilty conviction, but just a go-ahead for the criminal trial to commence. Really, an indictment isn't shit unless the grand jury fails to indict. Then they protected a person, you know, who was falsely accused of a crime, which is what it's supposed to be for, or they protected a fucking criminal, like they did with Tyler Brockman in Boone County. So the threshold, probable cause, there's probable cause that a crime might have happened. A criminal case, so when you go to the jury, let's say there was an indictment and it goes to the jury, the criminal case needs to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, I know you've heard of that. So the prosecution has to convince the jury that a crime has happened beyond a reasonable doubt. There is no doubt, there is no reasonable doubt that this person did not commit this crime. That's a very high threshold. So not just, I think I smell alcohol in your breath, but I saw you drinking alcohol. You got beer in your hand right now. I give you a breathalyzer test. You blew a .15 or whatever. And, all the evidence says that there is an overwhelming, you know, there's no fucking doubt in my mind that you're drunk. So that's the threshold for a criminal case. In a civil case, it's a preponderance of the evidence. So in a criminal case, you have to show overwhelming amount, beyond a reasonable doubt, you know, evidence. In a civil case, it's a preponderance of the evidence. So the overwhelming amount of the evidence, the preponderance of the evidence, is what convicts you. So that's the legal burden of proof for a criminal trial versus a civil trial. And for a grand jury indictment, it's probable cause. Probable that a crime may have occurred. It's probable. Beyond a reasonable doubt, a preponderance of the evidence, probable cause. The grand jury should indict, and this guy should get a trial just like anybody else. Just reverse the roles. Reverse the roles. Put me in the place of Howie Lake. So if I'm Howie Lake, and I'm holding the police officer down, and my friend shoots the police officer in the back and kills that police officer, will I go before the judge? Well, of course I will. Not only will I go before the judge, but I'll get thrown in jail, I'll be shackled, I'll be, probably won't even go to the grand jury. The prosecutor would just go ahead and do it themselves. They don't have to go to the grand jury. They can file charges themselves if they want to. They do it all the fucking time. But if they did go to the grand jury, they would definitely push for the grand jury indictment. Then they would go for the felony charge. They would go for the fucking kill. Then they would try to get me, try to get me killed. They would recommend the death penalty. So if that's what you would do to me, then do that to Howie Lake. Do the exact same to Howie Lake. What's the difference? He's got a badge and a gun and a uniform. Anybody can fucking wear a uniform and put a badge on. And these motherfuckers are connected. That other guy is the fucking son of a police chief, of a captain or some shit, and his dad's a fucking police. So both of his parents are fucking cops. He's been, because he's a part of the system, Oh, he's a good old boy. Okay, that means he's ignored poverty, he's ignored war, he's ignored police brutality, he's ignored all these injustices since the very beginning. I mean, what did Martin Luther King say? Racism, militarism, materialism. Those are the evil triplets that America needs to confront. Racism, militarism, materialism. We still have the same issues. In fact, Hunter S. Thompson killed himself because he said that Bush was worse than Nixon. So we're actually in a worse place than the 60s and the hippies and all of that. So that's what should happen. Hillary Seymour III should indict Howie Lake II and 28-year-old Blaine Michael Salamone for first, second, third-degree murder and for manslaughter. They should throw every charge at them, all those enhancement charges, just so something could stick. Throw menacing. They were menacing, at the very least. Disorderly conduct, very disorderly conduct. Menacing, disorderly conduct, disturbing the peace. Make sure those charges are thrown in there too. Have about, 7 charges against them. That's what the fucking cops do. They want to fucking hang you on something, so they'll charge you with, 7 fucking crimes. So do the same. Do the same to them. Hillary Seymour III, I'm talking to you. I'm just talking directly to you. Hillary Seymour III, the East Baton Rouge prosecutor. Charge them with 7 crimes. Add all those enhancement charges so that way you get the conviction, right? You charge them like Bradley Manning got charged with like 30 crimes. 30 fucking crimes, and what he did was expose a crime that the military wouldn't have done shit about anyways. So you got to add all those enhancement charges so you get the conviction, and then just let a jury of Howie Lake II and Blaine Michael Salamone's peers determine whether they're guilty or not. That's our system. You let their peers decide. You get a jury to decide whether they're guilty or not. And if Howie or Michael complains about the whole system, well, then just tell them to write their congressman or tell it to the judge, which they'll get their opportunity to do so. So Hillary Seymour, if you're a good fucking person, that's what you'll do.